Welcome to Knobcat Games Dungeons of the Obelisk podcast. I'm your host, Joe Sleppy, and I'm joined today by our animancer, Nikadir.
Hi, that's me.
And the art lord, Ben Segas.
Hello.
And if this is your first time checking out our show, this is a sort of an audio journal of our, indie dev journey. We're working on a game called Dungeons of the Obelisk. It's a 2D turn-based dungeon crawling loot grinding adventure. And what are we at? We're at like 7 months of development now, I would say, with only a few hitches. That's our first topic on the list is, I usually take care of the business side of things, so I ran into some issues recently with my accounting service.
Ooh, yeah.
Which isn't really game dev related, but it sort of is since I'm running this as a business. My accountant just disappeared, wouldn't answer shit, and it was just so bizarre. And then the company doesn't want to give me any refund, and they charged all the money up front, which looking back was kind of a mistake that I'm not going to make again, paying for services up front. Now I have to go to H&R Block to get my taxes done when I thought I had a full team of experts at my disposal.
It's just so ridiculous. Sorry.
Yeah, it was who cares? It's called 1-800-accountants. And they're supposed to give you a 3-person team of tax experts that you have access to at all times, basically, is what they say. And you have a little message center and stuff. And looking back, that dude never answered anything in the message center for me, at least not within 2 weeks or something. He'd come back and reply okay or something.
Oh, jeez.
And then their policy is you have a month to get a refund, and I waited too long apparently. But he was at least making meetings and stuff before that, and then he just disappeared. So I kind of hope he's all right, but I also think that this business should be able to cover for people that disappear and stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, you would think.
But yeah, I got everything under control now. It kind of had me shook up for a bit, but looking back, it's kind of just one of those weird things that happens, I guess, part of running a business.
Yep.
Moving on, everybody that's been listening to the podcast would be familiar with our programmer Kel. He's decided to move on to greener pastures, I guess, and I've been spending the actually we didn't address, we missed an episode last. We usually come out every 2 weeks, so it's been 4 weeks since our last episode, and in that time I've found a new programmer, and he started yesterday as of the time of recording, and we're going to get back on the grind and start having updates again pretty soon, I hope.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. He seems awesome. It's good to have a programmer on staff again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sort of curious. I want to get him on the podcast at some point and talk about what it's like just jumping into code that someone else has already made, which I assume happens a lot, if you're working on bigger projects and stuff. But I'm curious how that all works out, really.
Yeah, for sure. I think it definitely happens plenty in game dev, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a growing period, I guess.
Yeah, I guess there's not much to say about that without having him here to talk to. So we'll move on to the next thing on our list, I guess, which is designing the Sludgeosaurus.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that was a fun one. I mean, we kind of like came up with the idea. It was like I don't know if it was me or you that like kind of suggested the idea of the, I don't know how to pronounce it totally correctly, so I'll just guess, but it's the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's the spitting, yeah, the spitting dinosaur. Like that was kind of the starting point with the actual design, because we were talking about a kobold for a little while, and then it kind of kept changing, and then we ended up with the Sludgeosaurus, which I really like how it turned out.
Yeah, definitely the Dilophosaurus was your idea. I was starting with the kobold because the first, levels of our dungeons are kind of the stereotypical mobs that you find in a dungeon, like the slime and the rat and the gelatinous cube. So they're not, they still have our spin on them, but they're kind of the entry level mobs that you get on, most RPGs anyways.
Yeah.
So I was kind of going along with that theme and suggested the kobold. And then I like where it went. It's something a little more unique than just having a regular kobold or something of the like, a goblin or something like that. It's kind of taken on its own thing as a multi-eyed, velociraptor looking thing.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely unique. Which I'm excited to do more unique stuff for the game. Like, I mean, obviously, like you said, kind of put our own spin on the starter mobs, but like, yeah, once we get into more and more just kind of weird stuff, unique stuff, it'll be a lot of fun. So
yeah, for sure. Like, that's your whole thing, is designing cool monsters, so I can't wait to get into like deeper levels where weirder things make sense.
Oh yeah, very loosely I've got ideas, so we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Nika? You're currently working on animating it now.
Oh yeah, well, I will say for one thing, the art is just beautiful, and I haven't really got any like animations finalized yet, but just like rigging it and like trying out the posing and trying to make sure everything looks right. It's looking really good. Like I'm not sure how to explain it like without having it just the show, but like I don't know. It deforms really well. Right now the only thing that's kind of like I'm still working on is the eyes, because it is multi-eyed, and so trying to make sure they all play nice with the rig, which isn't too hard. I had to do some stuff like that with the rat as well. And it just like for the most part it followed along, but then there was like some stuff where I had to manually make sure it like lined up just perfectly, and like part of that comes down to how I rig it, and if I spend just like a ton of time I can make it work perfectly, but like either way I'm probably just going to worry about getting it out and getting it looking nice, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to get this character like moving and have its like jaw like opening and closing and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, like it's kind of like you end up doing dorky stuff when you're animating. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm like making his head like kind of move around, and I'm making him like kind of chomp on things and seeing how it looks, and I'm like yeah, it's all clicking already, so that's a good vibe.
Awesome.
Can you open doors yet?
Can he open doors yet? I don't know, his arms are so small. It's gonna be maybe with his mouth. Maybe he bites and turns.
I wonder how. I don't remember Jurassic Park enough to remember how they opened the doors on there, the raptors.
Yeah.
If they were
I just remember being in disbelief when it happened. I was like, no, that's a door. You can't do that. And then you just see like the little doorknob turning or whatever, and it's just like, no.
I don't know. I've seen my cats get into stuff like that, so I wouldn't put it past a Velociraptor.
Honestly.
Sludgosaurus.
And I mean, yeah. People always underestimate birds, but I've seen them do some clever stuff, and that's like a descendant of those, so I'd be kind of scared of one that had teeth.
Most definitely. Oh gosh. I mean, just visually, that would be terrifying.
Yeah. I saw someone Photoshop a duck with teeth once, and I hated it. I was like, that's terrible.
Ugh.
I mean, I guess geese kind of have like little spikes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's different.
Geese are horrible. Like, that could probably be a mob in our dungeon.
Honestly, I have so much. I have so much battle scars from just growing up on a farm. Like, I could tell some horror stories.
Now I'm just imagining like a pond level, and it's just all geese.
Like, you have like all these small geese, and then there's like maybe this big boss one in the middle that they're all like swimming around.
Yes.
You kind of cue up some like Dark Souls choir music, and it like. But I will say just one more thing about the Sludgosaurus. You wouldn't think it, but I think it's gonna be easier to animate than the blub, just because it's not like the blub had like the layers with the skeleton and like the cube, and that wasn't too hard, but it definitely like had me having to think about both of them. And this guy's just arms, just legs, a tail.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like. It's like kind of returning to something vaguely humanoid again. Well, I mean, I've been doing skeleton, but...
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. The skeleton one should have been fairly easy, right? Because you were able to just reuse the player character animations.
Honestly, the only thing that made that hard was just, like... When I tried to copy and paste it over, it tried to copy the character mesh exactly. So it was counting for where I placed the bones, like, on the original body. That's confusing, because skeletons are made of bones, and then rigging has its own term called bones. But, so I just had to kind of manually adjust, usually the arms and the legs a bit. But for the most part, it was just copy and pasting animations, and then just making sure it didn't break anything. Yeah, it was pretty easy. Like, that one was kind of refreshing, too, after doing the whole cube setup, too, honestly. Which, I want to say, that wasn't, like, extremely hard. It just, like, it was a kind of a new design challenge to think about, and I was like, okay, I can do this, but...
Yeah,
you know, it's kind of a blob, so it's like you have to figure out how to make a cube look dynamic.
Yeah, because, like, it could technically move anything or any aspect of it. Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
But like, it's yeah.
You could technically have, like, made some bones on each corner of the cube and then, like, pulled them down to be, like, little leggy stubs or something. I mean, it would look weird. I'd be kind of, like, distorting the artwork at that point. But, like, you could totally just... The sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I try to work within, like, how the art's designed. I'm like, how can I see this moving? And then I try to get as close to that as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's stick to the theme of mobs and stuff, and let's talk about a mimic for a little bit. We have chests in the dungeon that you can open and get stuff out of, and man, I really want them to be mimics sometimes, but I'm not sure if it's worth the time it'll take, you know, because we want to get the game to launch, so we have the MVP, which is the minimum viable product, which is, you know, the smallest the game can be at launch and still be, you know, fun to play. So I don't know if mimics should be in the MVP or not, but it would probably be cool.
Yeah, I could definitely justify either. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
like I love mimics. Mimics are one of my favorites. So
Yeah, for sure. Like, I feel like whatever happens, like, if this game continues, a mimic belongs in it eventually. Whether that's sooner or later, but, like, I don't know. Like, I almost wonder if we could, like, design one as a boss and then have, like, smaller versions show up, like, in later levels or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an idea.
But, like, also, it could be, like, a big content update. It's like, oh gosh, the chests now can potentially kill you, when the player was, like,
Yeah.
used to that not happening for a while.
Yeah. What would be good about mimics is that it gives you another opportunity at a, legendary item, because a mimic would end up being like a, an elite mob, I think.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
So it would be good to run into them as long as you can beat them, because you would
Right.
get, an extra loot drop chance in your dungeon.
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Along that line, a lot of games like this have a treasure goblin too
Oh, yeah.
that runs around and spawns every once in a while. That's probably something for later.
Like, characters that are kind of just, like, loot pinatas, basically. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
God,
Yeah.
I've seen stuff like that. I
Yeah,
feel
I think most
go ahead.
ARPGs have those like little goblins or something. I always call them a loot goblin. I'm not sure what they're actually called.
Yeah, IDK either, but yeah, like I'm thinking like Gungeon has a mob that just like if you kill it drops ammo, or like if you kill it drops a key, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like if you don't, they run away, and it's like they can disappear if you aren't fast enough.
Oh, that would be a cool mechanic. Like, it's a treasure goblin, but you have like 10 turns to beat it, or
Yeah.
something before it runs.
That'd be pretty cool, because then it wouldn't be about like with a mimic, it's like you could get killed in that situation, but the other one, it's like you just failed to like measure up enough to get the loot, or you grind it till you're good enough to pull it off, and either way, it's like a gameplay thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably backburner both of those
Yeah.
until we get the rest of the mobs in. And then once we have all the mobs that need to be in working, then we'll probably like reevaluate and see if those should be in there too.
For sure.
One of the other mob questions I have is we do our update videos, and we kind of show everybody like, the status of the game and how things are coming along, and we've been pretty good at showing all the mobs off and letting people know like what we're working on. But when we get to doing the bosses for the, level 10 in the dungeons is going to have a boss, and then the breach is going to have a breach boss. So I'm wondering if we should show those off, or if that should be something that we kind of keep secret before we launch.
I almost wonder if we could like, I mean, this might
Blur
be
them out.
well, that, and like maybe tease them a bit. Like maybe we can make this enemy sprites like pitch black or silhouetted or something.
yeah.
And then like be kind of teasing like, oh, there's this boss, we're making a boss, but we're not gonna reveal it. And then
Yeah.
it can be kind of a big deal when we do reveal it, maybe. If when.
Yeah, I think we should definitely like try to do something like that. We'll like blur them out, or put
Yeah.
like a missing no in place of the art or something.
Yeah. Or maybe some kind of like teaser image, like, beware, this thing's loose in the dungeon. And it's like kind of like obscured and blurry, and then you get into the dungeon and you see the thing. It's like a big reveal. I don't know. Definitely, like, I feel like not giving it all away is a good idea. Like, mobs are common enough that I don't feel really bad about just, like, showing them off. But, like, having things to, like, build up to sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So they still have something to look forward to.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we have the balancing issue to talk about, I guess, but I kind of feel like we could leave that one for next week. next episode.
Sure.
Have a good mob discussion on this one.
Yeah, it seems more of a mob centric episode.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got like our tank with the glubs, and we've got our blubs are kind of like, I don't know, they kind of take a lot of hits, and then you have your plague rat, skeleton. Yeah. We've got a nice little handful of mobs at this point.
Yeah, for sure. We almost have everything for, the first dungeons to be complete. Because the way it's going to work is like dungeons 1 through 10 are like one tier, basically. So you kind of have all the same mobs in those dungeons. And then level 10, you have a boss in that dungeon. And then once you hit 11, that's a new set of mobs. So when the game launches, we'll basically only have dungeons 1 through 10. So you'll grind dungeon 10 once you get there for all the cool loot from the boss, and then once you're stacked, then you have the breach as well that will open up once you defeat the dungeon boss, and that will have its own set of mobs on there that we haven't really started yet. The skeleton's going to be the trash mob for the breach, but we don't have anything else designed for that yet.
Gotcha.
Well, there's maybe going to be a healing mob in dungeons. Yeah. We talked about it. I want it to be there, but I'm not sure if we have that, the healing moves and stuff in the game yet. So we'll have to see if once we get those kind of abilities in the game, then we can have a mob that specializes in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was trying to think of like what kind of mob types we still haven't, because we have a pretty good, like a pretty balanced group already, it seems. But
yeah, for sure.
Definitely like some like, I don't know if calling them trick enemies is the right thing, but like special mobs that can do stuff like healing, especially for long term, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I've been calling them like specialists or whatever. The only one that we haven't talked about, I guess, would be like crowd control. So I want to have that stuff in the game, but I don't think it's going to happen for the MVP. So stuff like sleep and paralyze and like a stun and poison, that kind of thing. I want players to be able to like specialize in that kind of stuff, and then if the player can specialize in it, then there can be a mob that poisons you as well. So that's something that might happen, but I think it's probably going to happen later on in the game in an update. We'll add those things. But yeah, I think that's our mob episode. Thank you guys for listening to the end of the episode. If you made it this far and you're not in our Discord, you got to go to knobcat.com, find the link to our Discord. That's where we post the updates for all these mobs that we've been talking about. That's where the videos will be of the prototypes and gameplay and things like that. We also have an Instagram and a Twitter. They're both at Dungeons Obelisk. I don't know, Nika, where are we at on the competition? I was ahead of you for a little bit, but I think you passed me up on followers on your Instagram.
That is a good question, and one that I really wish I had my phone for. I believe I hit like the early 70s the other day.
Oh wow, I'm still in the 50s then for sure.
Oh gosh.
You're doing the work.
I'm kind of surprised because like I took a few days kind of just like chilling from posting every day, and I still have some of the skeleton to post, I believe, and I've still managed to be getting fairly consistent followers each day. It seems like tagging's really working.
Yeah, like, maybe people like our game too.
Hey, maybe. Yeah. I mean, another thing too is like I've literally like I think we've gotten like maybe 3 messages at this point that have been 3 or 4 messages that have been a variation of like, I like your project, or your project looks cool, can I help out? And like that's really cool. Like I've been kind of just like, no, we don't need a music producer right now. Our head guy's a music guy, but like I'll let you know. Or like, hey, follow our Discord if you're interested. I try to point them in the direction for more stuff, but I've just been
Right
kind of
on.
surprised to even get that. This is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna need that because we need to make money when we launch, so we can keep making updates.
For sure. And
So-
I'm happy to say a lot of the people interacting are like other game dev groups too. Like, I want players to find it too, but like if it was just a bunch of bots or something, I'd be sad.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess follow the Instagram, follow the Twitter, get on our Discord, and I think that's it for our podcast this week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.